It began like so many of their nights before. Music, a few drinks, and tension simmering beneath it all.
Kaylee runs.
Kaylee runs what?
Everything.
She runs what?
Everything.
Keep doing chest compressions with me. You're doing a great job.
No, please. Someone, please.
Keep going.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Listen to me.
Walk me through the kind of sequence of events, what happened tonight.
Okay, how'd the knife get in here?
I have no idea.
Love and anger collided behind closed doors, and one stab wound would decide who lived to tell the story.
Then arrest me because I need to know what's going on. Like, I didn't know what to do. He's bigger than me. He's 6'4". And I didn't mean to, but I just want him off of me because I didn't want him hurting me anymore. It was a fucking flinch reaction. I really didn't. And I swear I would never. I don't even care if I had to go to jail. I just don't want him to die. I love him so much. I just didn't want him hitting me anymore.
When police arrived, Kuston Johnson was unresponsive, and his girlfriend, Kaylee Whitehall, claimed it was self-defense.
Unfortunately, the society we live in, the media's going to get a hold of this.
He looked behind me and he got me in a chokehold, and I couldn't breathe. There's the knife right here, and I grabbed it, and it went like this.
What unfolded next would haunt everyone. Kaylee's posts joking about death and planning Kuston's funeral weeks before he died.
On the 12th, Mr. Johnson's family called and notified me of a post on social media.
If you wake up and your girl's staring at you with your phone in her hand, just go back to sleep, bruh. You're probably about to die anyway.
This is Subscribe Crime.
This program contains discussions of real crimes, death, and other sensitive subject matter that may be disturbing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. Kuston Johnson was known for his energy, his humor, and the way he could make anyone feel welcome. He loved music, fishing, and his young son, Kyle. Kaylee Whitehall was confident, outgoing, and for 3.5 years, she and Kuston shared a passionate relationship built on love and tension. But not everyone in Kuston's family approved of Kaylee. Still, Kuston stayed, believing that love could outlast the turmoil. Kaylee was just as committed. She didn't want to walk away. She was determined to make it work too. It was a tumultuous relationship. According to friends, the couple fought often. Kuston's best friend, Dennis Melbourne, also known as Madden, described their relationship as unpredictable.
I mean, don't get me wrong, all relationships ain't perfect. I mean, people argue in their relationships all the time. I mean, I guess it was one of those times.
What began on the night of September 9th carried into the early hours of September 10th, when Dennis called 911.
Hey, why is eyes look like that?
911, what is your emergency?
Yes, I need an ambulance at Gloucester Lane.
Okay, stay on line. Let me connect you to the ambulance. Stay on line. Medical Center EMS, what's the address of your emergency?
Gloucester Lane.
Tell me exactly what happened.
My friend has a puncture wound in his lung, and he needs to go to a hospital ASAP.
He has a puncture wound in his lung?
Yes.
Okay, how did that happen?
I don't know, like I was away from it all, and then I just saw him like shaking, like in the bathroom.
Okay, so he has a big hole in his back, or is that what it is?
In the front of his chest.
Did he tell you what happened?
No, he can't respond. I mean, he's breathing. I know he's breathing right now. He's dead, but he's breathing right now.
All right, sir. How old is he?
He is 36 years old.
Is he awake?
Oh, let me go double check.
Make sure he's breathing.
Kuston! 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 You awake? I don't know if he's awake yet.
Is he breathing?
Hold on. Nope. I don't think he's breathing at all.
All right, sir.
Oh.
I got help on the way, okay? We may need to do chest compressions. Is there a defibrillator available?
No.
All right, sir. Paramedics are on their way. Stay on line, and I'll tell you what to do now. Are you right by him now?
I'm right by him right now.
Okay, listen carefully. We need to lay him flat on his back and remove any pillows, okay?
He's on his back right now. What else?
He's on the floor?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I want you to look in his mouth and tell me if there's anything in his mouth.
There's nothing in his mouth.
Okay, place your hand on his forehead and your other hand under his neck and tilt the head back. Put your ear next to his mouth and see if you can feel or hear any breathing, okay?
Houston, wake up, wake up. Wake up. Wake up, son. Wake up, man. Wake up, man. Houston, wake up. Oh, my f***ing God, dog.
Can you feel or hear any breathing from his mouth?
I can't hear any breathing at all.
Okay. Paramedics are on their way now. Listen carefully. I'm going to tell you how to do chest compressions, okay? Make sure he's flat on his back on the ground. I want you to place the heel of your hand on his breastbone in the center of his chest. All right. Push down firmly 2 inches deep with the heel of his hand touching the center of his chest. Now listen carefully, okay? We're going to pump the chest hard and fast at least twice per second. Let the chest come all the way up in between pumps, okay? I want you to count out loud, and I'm going to count with you, okay? All right, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Keep going. You're doing a great job. Keep going.
No, please. Come on. Please.
Keep going.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep doing chest compressions with me. You're doing a great job.
Keep going.
You're doing a great job. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I don't know. We got to He's not blinking or anything. Oh my God! Please,
can you hear me? Sir.
Why are you not breathing?
Ma'am, hello? Hello? Hello, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Okay, Tom, go.
Okay, are we still doing chest compressions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Please have someone put the dog away, okay?
Okay, he's away.
Okay, and keep doing the chest compressions, all right? Are you doing them or is he doing them?
Someone else is on the way.
All right. Just keep doing them at this rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now they should be outside, okay? I want you to keep going until they take over. Okay, keep doing the chest compressions until they can take over, okay? Don't stop.
When paramedics entered the house, they had no idea what they were walking into. The scene looked more like a battlefield than a home.
When we first arrived on scene, we started to walk towards the residence. The door was open as we walked towards it. There was quite a large amount of dog feces that was on the floor initially when we walked in. There was a younger male. I asked something to the effect of, "Where are they?" meaning the patient. And there was also a older, larger lady that was there. We were directed through a dining room, kitchen area. There was a large amount of glass, broken glassware, plates, things of that nature on the ground. We walked through that. To our right was a living room area, but it was dark and I really couldn't see anything in there. As we were walking back towards the bathroom, that's when I could hear a lady yelling and screaming in that bathroom area. Towards the back of the bathroom, there was a toilet to our left and then a shower to the right, and the patient was laying supine with his feet towards the toilet, and then his length of his body was laid out and his head was up against the shower, slightly raised up. There was a white female. When we walked in, you could hear her speaking, yelling. She came out towards us. She actually put her hands on me and then turned around and started back towards that area. She was crying, so she had some running makeup that was on her face. And then when we got back to that room, she was on the patient with her knees at about his waist and with her hands on his chest area.
As they tried to save Kuston's life, one of the paramedics made a separate call to dispatch, requesting law enforcement to the scene immediately, unsure how Kuston had been injured.
Calling in, please. Search Angel.
It's Jacob EMS calling to get responders and law enforcement for Lost River Lane.
All right, what's going on?
We got a call for a punctured lung. No idea how the puncture came along, so.
A punctured lung?
Yes, so we're actually starting CPR right now. Yeah, but no idea how it came about.
Okay, we will knock them out.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, bye.
Whenever a scene like this happens, I always ask what happened, trying to get a sense of what's going on. That's for the benefit of the patient. I did ask her what happened. She stated that we were fighting and that I stabbed him. On the toilet was a steak knife, I guess is what it was. The blade was probably about 4 inches, and it had blood up to the handle.
Moments later, Officer Blake Allen arrived at the scene.
I was dispatched to this location to assist EMS, who was dispatch advised me that they were currently performing CPR on a subject who possibly had a collapsed lung. As I was walking up to the front of the house, I could hear a female yelling inside. Went inside through the kitchen area. I could see that it appeared to me that there had been some sort of disturbance. There was glass broken on the floor, things of that nature. And as I walked into the bedroom to the bathroom, I saw EMS working on the victim, and Mrs. Whitehall seemed to be very upset. She was yelling very loudly. I don't remember specifically what she was saying. She was just obviously very upset. I asked her what was going on, how the injury occurred.
Kaylee is heard in the background of the 911 call, trying to explain what had happened to Officer Blake Allen.
She stated that her and Mr. Johnson had been arguing most of the night, and she said that she did stab him with a knife, and she made a stabbing motion with her arm. And EMS personnel, one of them asked me to please get Mrs. Whitehall out of there because she was in their way and they couldn't perform their job. She was right on top of them and in their way. So I had to physically escort her out through the bedroom into the kitchen area.
Hey, come with me. Hey, come with me. Hey, come on. Come with me.
What's going on?
After I was asked by EMS to bring Miss Whitehall out, that's when Officer Bowman came walking in.
I walked through the door. I observed Officer Allen was already with Miss Whitehall. She was hysterical, from the events. I escorted her to my cruiser, secured her in the back seat, initiated the recording.
Then arrest me because I need to know what's going on.
Okay.
Did he die?
Listen to me. I don't know that, okay? Listen to me. Listen to me.
I just don't want him to hurt me.
Okay, I understand that. You've already said that, okay? Listen to me, Kaylee. Listen to me, okay? I need you to take a deep breath because I need you to tell me in sequence of events what happened to you. Okay? First of all, hold on. Before you answer anything, I have to read these to you because right now you're detained. You're not free to go. Okay. All right. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to an attorney before making any statement, and you may have your attorney with you during questioning. If you cannot afford an attorney and desire one, the court will appoint one for you. You may stop the questioning at any time by refusing to answer further or by requesting to consult with your attorney. Do you understand each of these rights that I've explained to you? With these rights in mind, do you wish to speak to me now? Okay.
Okay.
What happened?
So, we were talking at first, and I came home after work, and he didn't like us. I came home like 5 minutes late after work because I had to close the center because I work at APNI. I'm a supervisor, so I had to stay a little extra. And so I came in and he was already pissed. And the first thing I said was, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you mad at me?" He was like, "Because I know you're doing something. You're 5 minutes late." And I told Brittany, I looked at Matt's girlfriend, and I said, "Are you serious?" I was like, "I'm not doing anything." So he came up behind me, grabbed me behind the throat, and I was like, "Kuston, let me fucking go." And he's done this before. I had to get stitches in my head because we've done this, but this is just a normal thing we do. And I told him, I said, "Kuston, let me go." And he kept choking me, and he threw me to the ground, and so I got up, and I told him, I said, "I'm going downstairs." So I pushed him really hard against the wall.
Okay, this was all, what time was this at?
This is like 30 minutes ago, 40 minutes ago.
Okay.
This is why all the is broken.
Okay.
And so I pushed him off of me, and he threw the candles that were on the thing at me, and so I went like this, and so I threw him back, and that's why he has a cut on his face. And so he came at me, and I told him, and Brittany tried breaking him up off of me, and he was choking the shit out of me. And so he literally dragged me by my hair up in the kitchen, and I said, "Stop." Like I said, this is a normal thing. This is what we do. This is just how we fight. And so we're upstairs in the kitchen, and he was grabbing me by my hair and picked me up from my hair like this and grabbed me. And so I grabbed the knife and I went like this to get him off of me, but I didn't know.
The knife was on, where was the knife?
It was a kitchen knife, and it was because I didn't know what else to do because last time we did this.
Who said you grabbed it? Was this in the kitchen? Were you guys in the kitchen?
Yes, it was.
Okay. And then where did you grab it from?
Just from the dispensary, because I was like, "Get off of me," and I went like this, and I
coming like the steak knife?
Yeah. And he turned around and he was like, he was fine. He was talking to me. He was like, "You're a fucking bitch." And he tried coming at me again, and Brittany and Matt had gotten between. He was like, "Hold up." So I didn't think anything was wrong, and that's the only thing I did. And I told him, I said, "I'm not doing this no more." And that's what I said is I didn't know it was gonna. I didn't know what I did to him. I just did it because I couldn't see, and I just want him off of me. And I swear I would never. I don't even care if I had to go to jail. I just don't want him to die. I love him so much. I just didn't want him hitting me anymore because he doesn't know. Like, he's so much bigger than me.
All right, hang tight, Miss Whitehall, real quick. All right, I'm gonna go figure out what's going on.
Meanwhile, back inside the house, paramedic Jeff Dempsey and his fellow EMTs were desperately trying to save Kuston's life.
Give me oxygen now, give me a non-rebreather. Yeah, all that's ready for you. Let me listen, let's go. Can you see that? You better take mine, I'm dragging.
We moved him when we started CPR in order to follow ACLS protocols, which are the protocols that we follow in a cardiac arrest set forth by the American Heart Association. We have to intubate that patient on scene, and in order for me to do that, we had to move his body physically from where he was to a position where I could get down behind him and put the ET tube into his throat. At this point, his feet were right at the opening to the bathroom, and his head was facing towards the back of the bathroom.
Somebody drill him, give me a bag, give me my head ice and kit. I need a occlusive dressing as well to put over the stab wound. Where's our oxygen? You bagging. Okay. Your oxygen going before you get in there.
He had a small cut. I believe it was his left eye. It looked in the shape of a square almost on the side of his left eye. I cut up the middle of his shirt because he did not have a pulse at this time. Once I did that, I saw a small wound to the upper part of the chest. From that point, we started our ACLS protocols, which is our basic life-saving to try to get his heart started again. And he was in asystole, which is no electricity in the heart whatsoever. And then we started CPR, the chest and the breathing, and then we moved to intubate him. I directed EMT to start an IV or an IO line, which is interosseous needle. We actually drill into the bone so that we can deliver fluids and life-saving medication at that time. And then I intubated the patient so that we could deliver 100% oxygen to help perfuse the body and the tissues.
As they continued working on Kuston, supervising officers arrived at the scene. Listen as the defibrillator analyzes Kuston's condition.
We transported him emergency to the medical center.
While Kuston was being transported to the hospital, Kaylee was taken to the Bowling Green Police Department.
I just need to pat you down real quick to make sure you don't have anything on your person to harm yourself or anyone else, okay?
Yeah.
Just face me, push your hands on your back, please. And then watch your fingers. Thank you.
Back at the house, detectives began piecing the night together.
Walk me through the kind of sequence of events, what happened tonight.
Brittany and Dennis walked them through what happened step by step.
Okay, Dennis, I appreciate you volunteering to come here and walk us through this to try to help me understand.
According to their accounts, the night unfolded as follows. On the evening of September 9th, Kaylee got off work around 8:30 p.m. She, Kuston, Dennis, and Brittany went to a liquor store, bought drinks, and returned home to unwind. Music was playing. Drinks were poured. For a while, it felt like any other night on Lost River Lane. But behind the laughter, both knew the relationship was falling apart. That night, Kaylee told Brittany she was planning to leave Kuston. She also said that her friend Ryan had sent her $1,000 to help her move out. When Dennis spoke with Kuston confided that things weren't working. He said neither of them were happy, that they were breaking up.
I felt like when I was observing Kuston, he wasn't really himself. You know, he's like the life of the party. He's the happy guy. He just wasn't himself. He invited me to smoke a cigarette throughout the night. He's like, man, I don't know if I could do this. Like, do what? Him and Kaylee, like, if you're not that happy in a relationship, just end it. He said he's not happy. I just wanted to let her go about her business and I go about mine. I just want to have her stuff out of here.
As the night wore on, the mood began to shift. What started as small remarks turned into raised voices, then shouting. The argument spilled into the garage.
So we were down here talking. And Kaylee left out and Kuston was pushing her back in.
The argument quickly grew heated and turned physical.
They're here, and he pushes her back in here, right? And he gets her in a headlock
right
in this area here.
Yeah, like they were like they were right here when, because Dennis was sitting here. He had her in a headlock right here.
Brittany, alarmed, pleaded for him to let her go.
And I'm like, he got her in a headlock, and so that's when Dennis got up and helped me make Kuston work them loose.
Okay.
I'm trying to separate him from her. She's trying to separate her from him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And so they break loose. Did you guys help them break loose, or did they break loose?
Yeah, like it was physically. I mean, like Kuston, let her go, let her go.
So you had to pull them apart.
Yeah.
He eventually released her and stepped away.
They both left out of here.
Okay.
And she was like, I'm used to it. He always hit me. And then he left out and she followed.
All right, so he leaves first.
Yes.
Okay, and they go this direction?
Yes.
And she follows?
Yes.
Okay.
That's when, according to Dennis and Brittany, rage came over Kaylee.
All right, so she's standing where you're at?
Yeah.
And she was throwing stuff at him?
He was throwing stuff back.
And he was throwing stuff back.
This is when I was trying to separate him the best way. There was like, I guess some bodies up top here and there's some knives.
Kaylee done lost it and just started throwing like empty alcohol bottles, shot glasses,
faces at him. I'm over here trying to shield him and pull him back towards the room.
So was she in here or on the other side or
You on the other side, like probably like around here. And
Dennis stepped in to protect his friend, but not before a glass hit Kuston, leaving a gash across his face and his hands covered in blood.
When all that stuff was getting thrown, he got a cut like around his face.
Like he sees the blood in his hands. He goes, looks in the mirror. I look at him like, oh my God. Then he goes like towards like the kitchen area. He's not like, I'm over here, I'm with him. So I'm trying to see if he ain't gonna do nothing crazy. I'm with him. He's not trying to push me back and like, no, get off me. No, I'm just with him. He was like, man, she done cut me, man. He's not trying to fight me at all. He's not trying to fight. He's just trying to be like, hey man, she need to go. Like she need to get out the house type, you know.
When Kuston and Dennis returned, Kaylee was still furious. She stormed into the kitchen and grabbed a knife.
I guess she had a knife. I guess she got one of the knives with my head. I didn't see her do anything, but I know she had it in her hand.
Did you see her take the knife?
I seen her with the knife in her hand. I seen her.
Okay, but did you see her actually pick the knife up somewhere?
Yeah, she had a knife in her hand.
So you saw a knife in her hand? Yeah. Okay.
She was in the kitchen and then Kuston went at her and was like, so you grabbing knives now? You grabbing knives? And she was like backing up from him with the knife. They were in the foyer.
Kuston managed to take the knife away from Kaylee. In doing so, according to Brittany, Kaylee tripped on the carpet and fell to the ground.
And he took the knife from her. Dennis took it from him immediately. So he took it out of his hand and then he was just over her like, all I remember him saying is you playing with knives. And then at that point, I was trying to get him to release her, let her go. Dennis takes the knife from him and he's holding her down with her arms. And so I'm on top of him like, let her go, let her go. He lets her go.
And so right here, you said he had her on the floor. How was she on the floor?
She was on her back.
So she's on her back, kind of in the area where this carpet's at, this rug?
Yeah.
And he's standing over. How's he standing over it?
Like this is what we holding her down by her. My shoulder was in her arms.
So he's got his feet?
Yeah, his feet stand up. He's like this.
Brittany pleaded for him to let her go.
Okay.
And Kuston did.
All right, then what happens?
Okay, then I break her loose and I don't know what Kuston went at that point. Just she was like, "Can you help me get my TV?" And we went in the bedroom. Yeah.
Seeing that things were spiraling, Brittany tried to remove Kaylee from the fight. She urged her to leave, to cool off at her place, but Kaylee refused. She wasn't leaving without her belongings. Kaylee went into the primary bedroom to grab her television. Kuston followed her inside, at first to help.
At this point, his face was already cut. So I mean, he had a bloody change towel. But we were right here trying to help get the TV loose, and then he came in and he was cutting like the wire gonna cut. He had some like wire cut and he was cutting the wires loose.
As tensions rose again, Brittany stepped between them once more, trying to calm the storm.
Like I had her, she was like behind me right here, and I was standing at the door.
Kuston said to Kaylee,
he was like, "You're not getting your TV back." And then they argued some more. I can't remember what was said, and then he reached around me and punched her in the face.
Brittany would later clarify that Kuston smacked Kaylee across the face.
She was saying she was gonna get her TV. He was like, "You not," and she was like, "Watch me. You don't know me." So they just kept back and forth with that. He was like, "You ain't built like that," and she was like, "Yes, she is. She from Cali, and she gonna get her stuff." So he reached around me and he smacked her because she was behind me at the time in the doorway. And he reached around me and he smacked her. And so I was like, whoa, like trying to, break them up. And I was pushing Kaylee away from him.
Okay. Where was he at? Where was he standing at?
And like right here standing.
Okay, so he's standing about right here. Mm-hmm. Okay, and where was Kaylee at?
She was behind me.
Okay, and so he comes up and he reaches around you. Mm-hmm. Okay, you remember right hand, left hand?
I guess it would be this hand because he came around.
So he came around and he hits her in the face. Okay, then what happens?
And then I pushed her back to get her out of here. So it's me pushing her, pulling her this way. And she snatches away from me. Once I get her to this point, she goes back in the bedroom.
Okay, so she's all the way right here. And you're trying to get her out of here. Is she saying anything right now?
Like they're still arguing about, I don't know exactly what was said, but they're still arguing.
And is he still inside the bedroom?
Yes.
Who else is in the bed?
Yes.
So Dennis and Kuston are in the bedroom. And do you remember where Dennis was standing at inside?
No. All I was concentrating on was Kaylee trying to get right.
Okay, but when she's right here, she breaks away from you.
Yes.
All right, and what does she do when she breaks away from you?
She goes into the bedroom, all I seen. Then I'm like, Kaylee, stop it. I didn't come immediately in the bedroom. I'm like, Kaylee, stop it, because I was like really tired of him.
As Kaylee re-entered the room,
Her and Kuston were still arguing, and Dennis was like pushing Kuston in the bathroom. And he was saying she just stabbed him and he was finna kill her.
Did you see Kaylee with anything?
With the knife, yeah. It was in her hand. It was in her left hand at this time. And she was standing at the ironing board in the bedroom. Dennis was in Kuston in the bathroom, and she was throwing the iron. Jumping on the floor again.
on the other side of that bathroom door, Kuston collapsed, face first onto the floor.
All of a sudden, Kuston doesn't speak, and he just falls knees first, and then he lands face first on the ground. When Kuston collapses, I look towards, you know what I'm saying, outside to see it to get some help. Somebody got a knife in their hand. You already know who that was.
And that's when Dennis was like, call 911. She was like, I didn't stab him that hard. He's okay. I didn't stab him that hard.
All right, so she comes back in here. She gets here, and Dennis and Kuston are in the bathroom.
But from when I come back in.
Okay, when you come back in here.
Yeah.
And you said you didn't come in here right away?
No.
How long would you say it was before you came back in here?
About 30 seconds.
Okay, about 30 seconds. So you come in here and you see her throwing iron.
Yeah, she threw the iron at the door.
Okay. Is that how that mark got in the door?
Yeah, because it wasn't there before. It had to be the iron.
So was the door shut?
Yeah, because then shut the door to try to separate them.
Okay, and then what's the next thing that you remember happening?
Him falling out in the bathroom.
All right, did you see it or did you hear it? Or
the door was closing. I heard it.
You heard, what'd you hear? What
the thump of him falling.
Okay, and then what happened next?
Dennis yelled out to Brittany that Kaylee had stabbed Kuston and to call 911. Meanwhile, Kaylee called her friend Ryan. Ryan was the same friend who'd sent her the money to leave. According to phone records, her call went out at 12:44 a.m.
She left the bathroom to make a phone call so she can get her bond money. She said she was going to jail. She was like, I'm going to jail. You could call this person. He'll have my bond money.
What happened when she came back into the bathroom?
I think that's when she realized that it was serious and he really wasn't breathing. So she just got hysterical and started screaming like, why is he not breathing? Why is he not breathing? He was kind of laying here on the floor and he was laying face down. And I'm like, we got to turn him over.
Dennis placed the 911 call at 12:45 a.m.
And I started doing chest compressions.
Mm-hmm. Where was the knife?
It was right here on the floor.
Was it in here when you got here?
Yes. And I picked it up and set it right there.
Okay, how'd the knife get in here?
I have no idea. When I saw it, it was on the floor.
According to Dennis, Kaylee appeared angry and detached.
He's like doing short breaths. He's trying to breathe hard. Brittany's giving him chest pumps. I guess, Kaylee was still upset about everything that happened, and he's over here lying down fighting for his life. She's just taunting him. Like, that's what you get. I told you. I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, what? And then now she really appreciates the seriousness of the situation. Her attitude changes. She just says that, oh my God, Kuston, I love you. I'm so sorry.
And he's face down. And where's Dennis?
Oh, here on the side of him.
What's Dennis doing?
I'm falling down.
Okay, and you say we got to turn him over.
Mm-hmm.
So you roll him over, and what's the first thing you see when you roll him over?
Him just laying out with his eyes open.
Okay. Was there anything abnormal going on? I mean,
he was a breather.
Okay, he's breathing.
It was hard for him to catch it.
Okay. And is that when you started doing chest compressions?
Yes.
Okay. Did you know where he was stabbed at and bleeding from at the time?
I think that, yeah, it was stabbed right there.
And then while this is going on, where's Kaylee?
She was out there. And she was just like, she didn't stab him that hard. He's just drunk. And then I guess when I was like, he's really not breathing. And so when she came in and she was like trying to help do chest compression, and she was like, no. So I don't think she thought it was as serious as it was.
Keep doing chest compressions with me. You're doing a great job.
No, please. Someone, please.
Keep going.
Keep going. Keep going.
Listen to me. Why are you not listening?
And he wasn't like bleeding a lot or anything. When I was doing the chest compressions, I could see the entry wound, but Like, there was no blood coming out of it.
Okay. And then you're doing chest compressions. Dennis has got the phone. Person on the phone's talking you through it. Where's Kaylee at this point?
She was back out there somewhere. I lost contact with Kaylee after.
So she's back out here.
And then when I was like, he's really not bleeding, she came back into the bathroom. Breathing, I'm sorry. He's really not breathing. She came back into the bathroom and she started panicking.
Okay. Then what happened?
She was trying to help me. She came over here on this side and she like, her hand was on top of my hand while I was doing chest compressions. And then once I seen from the window that the ambulance was out here, she took over doing chest compressions and I went to escort the EMS in.
Okay. Is there anything else I hadn't asked you? You think it's important I need to know? Okay, and how you walked us through it is how it happened, to the best of your recollection.
Yes.
Back at the station, Kaylee sat waiting in the interview room, alone and restless. More than 30 minutes passed before she knocked on the door, asking to use the bathroom. Detective Wade Hughes opened the door.
Hey, are you Kaylee? Yeah. Hey, I'm Detective Hughes, City Police.
Kaylee stepped out, then returned moments later, clearly annoyed to be back in the room.
I'm in this goddamn room.
Hughes tried to calm her, explaining that he had just come on duty and was still figuring out what had happened.
Let me find out everything.
I know, but I understand where I'm coming from. I don't do these things. This is not a normal routine for me. You can see my record, Kaylee Whitehall. I've never been looked up. I pay my fucking taxes like everyone else. This is just a fucking shitty-ass situation. I just want to know if he's okay. That's all I want to know. And no one will let me know anything. It's driving me okay. So I just want to know if I'm locked up. If not, then I need a lawyer to move the fuck on because I can't sit in this room. If you want to ask me questions, please do. But I just want to know if he's okay. That's
okay.
it.
Well, give me just a second. Let me figure out what's going on.
Kaylee's frustration was visible.
Well, then, I'll be right back, I promise, okay? I don't want to give you any information that's going to be wrong either, so let me figure this out.
Can I please make my phone call or whatever I need to do, because I just want to know if he's okay, and you guys are doing this, like, it's driving me up a wall.
I understand. I'll be right back, okay?
Hughes left her to wait a little longer before returning again.
Kaylee, I appreciate you getting paid. Like I say, I just had walked in.
When he finally sat down across from her, his tone was calm, patient, almost gentle, a tactic he would later be asked about. Then he delivered the news.
I just got off the phone with him, and there's no really easy way for me to say this.
He died.
He died.
Everyone's going to think that I did this intentionally, and I just do it to me. Like, you guys don't even know how it is. I already know. Listen, like I said, my family works with law and everything, and I already know your guys' pre-assumptions. But it's just, fuck, this is not a situation I would ever think that I would ever be in a million years. For real. I would never wish harm on him ever. It's just, I just didn't want him on me, and there's even bigger than me, and I didn't want him touching me anymore.
My job is to try to figure out what happened, okay? And so I don't want you to think automatically that I'm sitting here pointing the finger at you or doing anything, because what I need to do is find out kind of what happened all through the night, you know? And if situations kind of got out of hand and it led to this, you know?
Okay. I don't even...
But before we do anything...
I feel like... I don't even want to do this, but I feel like I should have a lawyer, because I feel like things against me are going to be just... This is not even... I didn't even do anything wrong. I just protected myself because I didn't want him hitting me no more. That's it. I didn't even want him hitting me anymore. But it was such a reflection of, like, my movement, and I didn't even know that happened because he was normal. He stood up and was like, "You're a bitch, yada yada," and I didn't think anything of it. It's not like he fell to the floor or anything. This happens all the time. Like, this is our normal thing. He just gets mean and gets abusive, and that's it. That's what happens. But this time I just didn't. I don't even know what to do right now. I would never do that intentionally. I just didn't want him hitting me before. And I couldn't breathe, so the only thing I could do was fucking grab something to get him off of me. That's the only thing I wanted, is off of me. That's it. I would never do anything intentionally. I'm not that type of person. There's nothing. I'm not abusive or nothing. I usually just let it roll. But I mean, it's just every day when you just. I don't even want to. What am I doing right now? Do I have rights? Am I under arrest, or can I have a lawyer or something? Because I feel like anything I'm saying is just gonna go the whole wrong way, for real. And I can't believe he's gone. Like this, I would never want it in a million years, for real. Like it's just crazy to me. I would never hurt someone like that. I really wouldn't.
Well, you're not under arrest right now. Let me step out and get you some tissues.
No, please, I just need to call my sister because she works in the hospital and I know she knows already. I just want to call my sister.
Hey, did you say you wanted to call your sister?
Yes,
okay.
I just need to contact.
Okay.
I don't know her number though.
You don't know?
I don't know anyone's number by her. Actually, can I see if Ryan will answer? Hey, Ryan. I know this is gonna sound so crazy, and I'm so sorry to call you, but you're the only number I know by heart. But I'm locked up right now. Or I guess I'm not under arrest, but I'm with a detective and he's letting me call you. And I don't even know what to say right now. I'm so freaking confused on everything, but he's passed away because we got in a dispute, and it's just a big ass mess right now. Because we got an altercation. And I tried getting him off of me, and I told him I was leaving him, and he wouldn't get off of me. And so I told him, I was like, I can't breathe. And I told him I couldn't get up. And the only thing I could reach for was a knife, and I stabbed him because he wouldn't get off of me, and I couldn't fucking breathe. And he died. I only did it because I didn't want him killing me. Like, I felt like my life was in danger, so I did it because he was hurting me. I'm in the detective's little thing, and he let me call you, but I don't even know what to do from here, because I don't even want to stay here. I've never been to jail, I've never done anything. I just want to go home. I don't even know what to do, Ryan, because everyone's going to take me, because I didn't mean to. I swear I did it. I just didn't want him on me. Buddy, what do I do?
Ryan told her. He warned her that she might have to go to jail.
No, I don't want to go to jail. I've never been to jail in my life.
Ryan then asked to speak with Detective Hughes directly.
This is his phone. He's not okay. Okay. Here, we need to talk to him. No, he wants to talk to you.
Okay. This Detective Hughes. No, she's not under arrest. I know that there has been some things happened, and and she's kind of made statements indicating that he was attacking her, and if that's the case,
he knows he transferred me money today to get me out of this whole situation. He'll tell you something. We have, but I would never want. It's so crazy.
What's his name?
Ryan.
Sir, what is your name again?
Ryan. Sorry about it.
Okay.
I've known him for like 15 years.
Okay. Just to kind of let you know real quick, I'm actually sitting in here with
Kaylee.
Kaylee, okay? You had asked me, no, she is not under arrest. She has kind of told me a little bit about, kind of being attacked or whatever. So that's kind of what all we're trying to do is we're just trying to get, trying to figure out what's going on and, trying to figure out her side. Here's what is going to happen, or here's kind of what needs to happen, okay? We are going to need to go inside there and do what's called process the scene. That's basically, take photographs and kind of document the scene. What I would like to do is, and it's completely up to her, but from what I understand, she was kind of, being attacked. And so we just need to clear this up as, as soon as we can. And if that's the case, then that's the case. And here's the thing, Taylor, honey, I know that you don't want to be in here, but the best thing that we can do right now is figure out and kind of get the official account of what happened. You heard me talking to Ryan. Kind of one thing that we need to do is we need to process the scene.
I know what that
So, Cody, I can't even begin to and I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know what you're going through, okay? But just understand this. There's some things that we got to do.
I know.
And I'm going to be honest with you. It's for your protection too, okay?
No, I understand. I do. It's just like, anyone would tell you. I've always told anyone that, not everyone, because I really am not open about that stuff at all. Like, the only people, I'm really not close. I kind of hate people, to be honest with you. The only people I've ever told that I need to get out is Ryan and my sister. They're the only ones that I've ever opened up about anything about. I don't let people know because I'm Italian. We're an Italian family. We don't tell people our problems that we're going through. And I just told, like I said, I told Ryan the other night, I want to leave. I can't do this no more. Like, for real. I've, like, never been hit in my life, and just going through that day in, day out, it's not normal to me, and it's just hard to put up with. Like, as a female, you just don't put up with that shit.
Let's take some deep breaths, okay? Because there's some certain things that we're just going to have to get through. Let me get you some water.
I just
Let's
don't
take some
want
deep
to
breaths.
be here. Like, I don't really, honestly, like, I don't want to be here right now. Like, I want to take a shower. I feel gross. I have blood all over me. Like, this is driving me insane. Like,
I understand, Kaylee. One of the things that we need to do is we're going to need to collect your clothes, and so I'm going to have to get some other clothes.
Let me go.
Okay, but I'm going to have to get you some other clothes to put on, okay, hon?
I don't care. I don't
So let me step out and let me work on getting you something to change into so you can.
I don't want an orange jumpsuit or anything
No.
like that. I don't want, if not, just take me to jail because I'm not.
Kaylee, you're not under arrest, honey. Honey, you're not under arrest, okay?
I really don't give a
Okay.
right now. I don't want this on me.
All right,
I want to go.
listen. Take a deep breath. I'm going to get you some water, okay? Let me step out here and let me get somebody over there right now and get you some clothes, okay?
Oh my God.
Kaylee, I've got your clothes here, okay? So I want you to have privacy. So what we're going to do is, I've got a female officer here. I haven't unpackaged it. It's kind of folded up, but you got underclothes, pants, shirt, sweater in case you wanted it, shoes, things like that. So I'm going to have a female officer come in here, and we'll just need to get the clothes that you have, okay?
She changed, and the interview resumed.
Okay, so where we're at, we've talked to Dennis. We've talked to, is it Brittany? Is that her name?
Yeah.
And so basically, they're hopefully finishing up there at the house. You know what I would like to do, but
He asked her again to walk through the night from the beginning.
kind of just to kind of have you walk me through what happened. I know it's tough. I know you probably don't even want to think about it. Let's kind of start at the beginning of the night or the day, or whenever, whenever things started kind of taking a turn, and let's just kind of walk through it step by step.
It's just as simple as I was leaving. I didn't want to put up with no more. And as soon as he found that out, I already knew it was going to be an argument. But that's why I told Ryan that I needed money because I don't have anything because he has everything.
Kaylee said Kuston had accused her of cheating and that things spiraled out of control.
I came 5 minutes late, and then all of a sudden that was a fight, and he was just like, "You're cheating, da-da-da." And so it was fine at first because he just was in his mood by himself, just being a jerk, throwing stuff around, whatever. So I ignored it. And then
he went outside and smoked a cigarette with Matt and then came back in. And I was like, I want to tell you something. And he was like, what? And I was like, I just can't do this anymore. And he was, that's when it all went downhill. When I told him I didn't want to do this anymore and that I was leaving. And I told him that I already had money and I didn't need anything from him and he could keep everything. And then all of a sudden it snapped out, and that's when he grabbed me, pulled my hair, and then I pushed him off me, and then me and Brittany went downstairs because we were fighting, and he came down there, and then it just went fucking downhill, and I should have just left without even saying anything. I really should have. And even Ryan was like, don't even say anything, just wait till he's at work, pack your stuff, and leave. And I knew I should have, but I didn't want to do that because I didn't think that would be right of me to be like, oh, all of a sudden I just leave and then nothing's there. I wouldn't want that. And then his whole demeanor changed, and then he started getting pissed, and he was like, I fucking knew you checked out, yada, 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 yada. And I went, and as soon as I turned around, because I love Kuston. This is why I really want to do this because I feel so bad going against him. Like, I'm trying to make him an enemy, and I'm not.
You're not trying to make him an enemy.
I'm not.
We're just talking about what happened.
Like, I don't want to make him seem like he's a bad guy, because I know he doesn't mean it. He just has a fucking stupid temper, and that's just it. Like, I know he doesn't mean it, though, and...
So when he changed, what happened next?
And then we started fighting. So he started calling me names. So I was out. I went to grab my purse that's on the little desk on the opposite side of the kitchen. And I started walking downstairs, and he followed me. And he started calling me names. After upstairs, he already grabbed my hair, which he always does. I don't know why he does that, but he does. And I said, you're a fucking asshole. You're abusive, yada, yada. And he didn't like that because that's when Brittany and Matt came down and tried breaking us up. And we're fighting, and then I tried going upstairs, and he got me from behind, grabbed my legs, pulled me downstairs. I kicked him in the chest because I was trying to get fucking back up the stairs. And then we went upstairs. And then that's...
So what happened when you guys got upstairs?
I just wanted to leave up there. I just tried to grab my purse and my keys, and he wouldn't leave me the fuck alone. I just wanted to leave. It's fucking crazy.
So when you guys went upstairs, where did y'all go?
We were in the kitchen, and I was trying to grab on the little dresser thing. It was my purse, and anytime we leave, he always tries to grab my shit because he doesn't want me leaving. And I tried grabbing it first, and he was fine with that, but I think when he really realized I was leaving, I was putting my stuff like this, and he comes up behind me and grabs me, and he's just holding me on my throat, and I couldn't fucking breathe. There's nothing I could do. And Matt and Brittany, for some reason, would not fucking help me. They tried, and they're just like, stop, guys, stop, guys. It's just, I couldn't breathe, and I felt like, seriously, like, I was fucking scared. Like, I really thought he knew I was leaving, and he wasn't going to let me go. And so the only thing I had in my possession was a fucking spatula, a knife, and another plate thing. And I grabbed the plate at first, or the candle, and that's why it's broken. And I threw it like this. And then I went like this with the knife, and I turned around, and he was fine. Like, it's not like he dropped or anything. He was just like, oh, you're a fucking bitch. Now you want to cut me, yada, yada, yada. And that's when Brittany and Maddie came between us. And she was like, calm down, guys, da, da, da. And I was like, I'm done with this, I'm fucking leaving, I'm done with everything. And he was in the bathroom, he was like, no, Madden, let me out, yada, 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 because Madden tried to hold him. And then that's why I didn't even know what even happened, because he was up, standing, fine, yelling at me still. And I grabbed my keys, and then that's when Maddie came in there, was like, he's in the bathroom, and he laid down on the floor. And I think Kuston's very dramatic, like... I'm not trying to mean, but he's really dramatic. Like, he does the things for attention all the time. He'll do that so I don't leave. So I was just like, he's fine, he's not, it's fine. And Matt's like, come here. And I was like, I looked at him, and so I saw him, and I know CPR because I grew up with asthma. My mom has asthma and everything. And I tried doing CPR, and that's when I was like, wait a minute, what the hell? And that's when Matt had already called, because I was like, we need to call the ambulance. And that's when we called, and I was like, get them here right now, because I can't, like, break the f***ing chest plate. Like, I can't do it. It's not, nothing's happening. But I thought he was being dramatic, and it's just so fucking crazy because if he would have just let me leave, I would have never even did that. I just wanted to go away, and I really thought like he was not going to let me go because he knew I was leaving for sure this time. He knew it. And I know he went through my phone and saw those messages, and that's what's I mean,
what I would like to do is just kind of, like I say, I know it was a tornado going everywhere, but is to slow down and really focus on what happened in the kitchen.
Like I said,
you said he had you in the headlight.
Yeah.
Was it behind you on the side?
No, it was from behind because I was coming up and I was going to grab my stuff to leave because, like I said, with Kuston, there's no, you don't say sorry or anything. Like, he has to be calmed down on his own terms. Everyone knows that. He just has a really bad temper. So I was grabbing my shit, and he has a thing for either grabbing me by hair or grabbing me by neck. That's his thing. That's what he does. And he grabbed me by my neck. And I couldn't breathe, and so the first thing I did was grab the white candle, which was, it was down already because I pushed it like this the first time we were fighting, and I grabbed it and I threw it backward, and I guess that didn't work, and he kept doing this, and Brittany was over in the corner, and he was like, she said, Kuston, stop, Kuston, stop, Kuston, stop, but no one would break him up, no one would get him off of me, they just kept saying stop. And so I really couldn't breathe. So the only thing I did was grab the knife, and I just went like this, and I thought I made a jab mark. I didn't think I would actually do anything like that. And that's when I turned around, and then he went in the bathroom talking to Madden, and he was like, no, that. And he even went downstairs and grabbed the vice grips and tried undoing the TV. And that's why I was like, okay, whatever, because my TV is in his room, because I told you I was moving out, so my stuff's in the guest room, because I was already pre-planning this. So I don't have nothing in his room. And he was undoing it, so I was like, don't touch my TV, I'll do it myself. And then that's when he hit me again, and then I pushed him back, and I was like, are you f***ing serious? I was like, I'm not doing this with you guys. And Madden was like, no, calm down, Kaylee, calm down, just calm down. And then he closed the door, he slammed the bathroom door, that's why there's dents in it. And Brittany was like, stop, you guys, stop. And Brittany was hitting on the door, and she's like, open the door, you guys are being so... I was outside of it, but it was Madden and Kuston. And she was like, we're calming this down right now. And I was already walking out to get my stuff, and Brittany was like, Kaylee, come here. And Madden comes out, and he was like, no, like, come here, for real. Like, I think something's wrong. So I grew up around my family, they're all medical, so I already knew. And that's why I was like, man, we need to call the EMTs. I'm telling you right now. Like, he's not breathing. And that's why I rolled him over. That's why blood all over me, because I tried doing CPR. But I couldn't, because it just wasn't working, and that's what happened.
Detective Hughes then asked about the cut on Kuston's face.
He had a cut, like on his face. Do you know what that was from?
Oh, I'm sure that's from throwing stuff, because we were throwing stuff back and forth. We're, like, notorious for that, like, when we fight. I'm sure that could have been the candle when I threw it back when I was trying to get him off of me. I don't know, to be honest with you. I really couldn't tell you.
Now, do you remember whenever he had you in the headlock and you said you grabbed the knife, do you remember what hand you grabbed it with?
I don't know. It just happened so quickly. It had to be my right hand. Because I know when he pulled it, at first I went like this, and that's when I grabbed the candle and I tried throwing it to get him off of me. And then the other thing was there, like I said, was the cooking utensil or the knife, so I grabbed the knife and I went like this, and then I turned around.
So at that point, did you know he had been with a knife?
I didn't even know. I honestly didn't even know, because that's when he went and got the vice grips and was calling me a bitch trying to undo my TV. And I was just like, don't touch my shit, I'll get it tomorrow, yada, yada, yada. And then he went in the bathroom with Madden, and he was still talking shit, calling me a bitch and everything. So I honestly didn't even think anything of it. And I really didn't even know.
So is the only time that you had the knife was in the kitchen?
Yeah, that's the only time.
So like you wouldn't have it like in the bedroom, bathroom?
No, it was only in the kitchen. And
do you
I don't even remember what... I don't even know if I dropped it or not. I don't even remember. I think what I did is as soon as he left it, I went to go get my purse to f***ing leave. Because like I said...
So that's what I was going to ask next. So when you come back with it, after y'all kind of separate a little bit, do you remember what you did with the knife after that, if you tried to think about it?
I don't even remember. I think what I did is dropped it on the floor because, like I said, with I either did that or threw it in the sink.
Later, Hughes allowed Kaylee to call Ryan again.
I've got Ryan here. We'll talk to him.
Hello. If I have to go to jail, I don't even care at this point. I just know, like, I just feel so bad. He has a son, and I don't even know, like, I feel like the worst person on the planet. And I feel bad too, like calling you, but you're really the only number I knew by heart, and the only one that knew what was going on.
Listen carefully to Ryan's reply. Kaylee clarified.
Well, as far as like me moving out and like leaving.
Then he told her what would come next, a walkthrough at the crime scene. Dennis and Brittany had already done theirs. Now it was Kaylee's turn.
They call him Madden.
Madden?
He's a DJ. They call him DJ Madden.
Okay. Him and Brittany have already done it, and what we try to do to try to finish cleaning everything up and making sure we understand everything is we do a scene walkthrough.
She agreed to walk detectives through her version of that night.
I don't even care at this point. When you want to do the walkthrough, because I really just want to get this stuff with.
Just start beginning, I guess when all this stuff happened last night.
Brittany and Matt were supposed to come over, so we started our conversation here. And I told him, we're gonna have a good night tonight. We'll talk later. I got this, the priest. I don't know if he told you, but I was leaving him, and. So we were sitting in the kitchen, talking. He was great. He went out and smoked a cigarette in bed, and I went to the bathroom, and I don't know if he went through my phone or not, but his whole demeanor changed and went downstairs, started fighting.
Walk me through, show me where this stuff happened. I guess kind of in order as it happened, so I understand.
Came downstairs talking with Brittany.
Okay.
And this is after the first time in the kitchen when he had me in a headlock and I pushed him away. Came down here and I told Brittany, I'm tired of it, you guys don't understand. And she's like, it's okay. So he came down here and he was like, you want to complain about everything and tell everyone everything so you can out. So I went like this and he grabbed me and then some of the cups went like this. So I pushed like this, I turned and I fell on the steps and I crawled up the steps like this and pushed him like this on his chest, picked it off, and then I'm sorry. I went upstairs. After we did this, I came upstairs because I pushed him down, and I'm sure it hurt his chest because I kicked him pretty hard to get him off.
Okay.
So I came here. And I was gathering up my keys, and I put them on the counter. And we have our candles and stuff, like this. Sorry. I went to grab my keys and he came up from behind me and he got me in a choke lock. And so I went like this. And Brittany and Madden were like, stop you guys, and I couldn't breathe. And I had a candle right here. It's another white one, I have 3 of them. And I threw the candle. So I was trying to get him off of me, and it didn't work. So there was a knife right here that I used to cut open my aspirin, so I take aspirin every single night. And I grabbed it, and I went like this, and turned around. And he pushed me forward. And then I came in here, you were in here, and came in here to get my TV. About 13. He was right here, he went in the bathroom. He was like, you fucking bitch, da 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 da. I don't think anything of it, I didn't even know I touched him or anything because he was acting normal. So I came right here and I started doing my TV. And he pushed me out of the way like this, and he was like, I'll fucking do it. And started unscrewing it, and that's when Brittany and Maddie came here and I said, I'm with this. And I walked back out here, and then when I came back out here, Madden comes right here, and he was just like, I was getting my keys like this, and Madden comes in and says, Kaylee, for real, come here. And I'm just like, no, he does this all the time. He does this so I won't leave because he's a baby. He'll purposely make up an injury. I'm not doing it this time. So Matt was like, come here for real. And he doesn't like to get his stuff, his shirt dirty. So I know he wouldn't lay on the floor like that. So I came in the bathroom right here. And we started doing CPR because my sister and my mom work in the nursing field and I know when they're not breathing. So I started doing CPR and I couldn't do it hard enough, so it just didn't work. And then you guys showed up, EMT showed up.
Hey, real quick, I know it's difficult, and so we'll get this done. Was he right here?
Yeah,
Okay.
he, first they closed the door, cause this was right here. When it happened, Madden closed the door cause we were arguing when I went to go get my keys, and he was like, we're blocking the door cause you guys aren't arguing anymore. And so Brittany was like, no, Madden, open the door. They're going to talk this out. And I said, I'm fucking done. I'm not doing this no more. And he was standing there arguing. And then Madden was like, yo, Kuston. And then I came in here and that's when he was like, Kaylee, come here for real this time, for real. And I was like, he's being a baby. He does this all the time. And then I just saw him laying. Like I said, he doesn't like getting his clothes dirty. So I knew he would not lay on the floor. So I came in here and he was laying down. And I don't even know because he was so normal. Like, he yelled at me, he even got vice grips to fix the teeth, to get the thing off, and so I didn't even think I touched him, and then he just fell down.
How did this get in your door?
This has been here, this was from tonight, this is another dispute.
So, you come in here and you see her throwing iron?
Yeah, she threw the iron at the door.
Okay. Is that how that mark got in the door?
Yeah, because it wasn't there before. It had to be the iron.
The other doors from the other disputes too. This is when Brittany was like, open the door, Madden, because Madden's going at it. And she was like, we're solving this tonight, open the door. And then that's when we're going back and forth. But this is from another fight we had.
Okay. Where was the knife?
The knife was on the counter. I don't know where I put it because I really don't. I don't even know if I threw it when he pushed me back this way or if I dropped it or if they picked it up. I really don't know. So crazy to me right now. This is just not my life. I don't do things like this and it's just so crazy. Like, I'm done with this stuff.
Can I real quick just ask you a question? Like this glass and stuff, I may have missed it because I've been trying to focus on this, but how did like the glass and stuff get on the floor?
He was throwing it because I was going downstairs and I wasn't paying attention. So some of it went this way because he was throwing it this way. And then when I came in this way, he told Madden, oh fuck no, we're not doing this tonight. And then pushed the candle. So this is, all this was right here up on this.
Did you ever throw him anything?
No, I did throw the candle back at his face when I was faced this way. That's the only thing that I threw was faced this way. I did throw a candle, it was like this, I'm sure it's broken.
So you threw it over your shoulder, is that what you were describing?
When he was like this is the only thing I had besides the knife, and this is the first thing, and I threw it back like this.
Was it that particular candle or was it a different one?
It was, I don't know if it was this one, I'm sure it's another white one.
Someone kind of like that though.
We had like 6 of them and 3 down here.
Okay. Okay. And then there was some glass in that room too. Is that just like right over in that little dining area on the floor?
I think this is probably from the vase because this is probably the first time when I was in a headlock. This flower was up here. And that's the first time Brittany tried breaking up the headlock because this is when initially I was leaving. He went like this and we jerked the table. And it fell over. It had to,
okay. Well, you know, before I shut this off, a lot of times, and it's just how our brains work sometimes. When you go back to, and you're actually seeing visual stuff, you're not just sitting there trying to recall it from memory. Sometimes things come back to us. So before we finish up and we're done, is there anything else that you remember that happened that you didn't, that you left out? And let me tell you, sometimes people, just because they think they're getting in trouble, they'll leave out stuff that they did. And it has nothing to do with... Well, I know. I'm just saying. So, like, I'm talking like anything. I mean, you said you hit him and stuff, like to get him off of you, and that's fine. I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure that you've not left anything out, and that's why like we're here, so maybe you can see some of the stuff to kind of refresh your memory a little bit. So I just don't want you leaving anything out, because it's always worse if you leave something out than it is if you just are upfront with us about it. It doesn't usually make a difference. It's just
I have nothing to hide.
Kaylee stuck to her story.
I just feel bad that the whole thing even happened like this.
The next day, Detective Hughes met with her for another interview, this time armed with the medical examiner's report.
Here's the thing, from the autopsy results, I know from the angle that the blade went in, I know from how deep it went, I know from the wound, okay, and from what the autopsy tells me, I know that there's no way, let's say if he's behind you, okay, and you're trying to break away and come back like that, it's impossible that happened. When he was stabbed, he wasn't stabbed when he was behind you like this and you come around. I know from the angle of the knife, from the wound, I know from everything, they can tell us, which the jagged point, like, the cut part and the smooth part, which I know that didn't happen like that. If somebody's got me from behind here like this and I'm coming around, so I know that's not when it happened. And I know that it came in a downward motion. Okay? I understand, but listen to me. I need you to slow down. Okay? You had just told me right there that he was coming towards you, right?
They were breaking us up in the room.
They were talking about the bedroom?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just slow it down and go step by step.
I ran out of the room because he was getting really mad, and he pushed him out of the way.
He pushed him out of the way?
Dennis.
Okay.
And I told Brittany, I was like, move, Brittany, because he was gonna hit me. And he came at me and I didn't know what to do.
What happened next?
I was like, Dennis, he came at me.
Again, we can't see this. And she's, I guess, motioning and showing you at that point
Yes, ma'am.
what she did. How does she motion at that point?
At that time, she gave a motion like this, like she came up holding the knife in front of her with the blade. I guess kind of down like that.
The autopsy tells me that your first statement isn't exactly what happened. So I've got to figure out why, and I know that you didn't mean probably for it to happen, but at the same time, you don't want to get in trouble yourself. I get that. I understand that. So what I need for you to do is to be honest and explain it to me, and then now what I've got to try to figure out is I've got to figure out, well, why did she tell me that yesterday?
I really do remember him around my neck though, and did grab this and I was trying to get him off of me. But I honestly, my mind has just been so crazy, and I'm not trying to lie to you or anything. I swear, I really have nothing to hide. I would never hurt him in a million years, ever, like that. I just need some fresh air.
Well, let's crack the one. We're just about done, and then we'll.
How are you talking about this all the time?
I know.
I really just think you're gonna arrest me, please just do it, because I don't have anything anymore.
I'm not.
I just feel so bad.
Here's the thing, I can't even arrest you over here if I wanted to. And I'm not saying that I want to. I'm just trying to understand, you know what I mean?
I know.
I'm just trying to
I would
understand.
never do that intentionally. I was really scared.
So why do you keep on, you said that several times, why do you keep on saying that arrest me, if you're going to arrest me?
Because so many people are already saying, calling my sister and saying how I should be in jail and I'm a murderer. I'm not a mean person. I would never hurt someone like that.
One of the things I need to understand is, and this is a question that I'm going to have to be able to answer, okay? So the knives are here, because the knives are on the counter, and so you get a knife from here, and you're going back into the bedroom with the knife. Okay? And he's going this way. So just help me understand, why are you going from here into here with the knife?
I think honestly,
I just didn't want to turn around and him grab me or do something because when he's behind me, I have no control. Like, I can't free myself, and I just wanted to make sure that he wasn't going to hurt me, so I just turned around. And I kicked that, and then he just kept coming, and I stopped.
This makes sense to me. Today makes sense to me. Yesterday, I'll be honest with you, I was confused.
My mind was really crazy, and the things were adding up, and I know you deal with this stuff, but it's just a whirlwind, and everything was just going through my head, but I promise I'm not trying to lie or do anything intentionally.
Because I'm not saying that I do, but some people could look at the statements from yesterday, some people could look at the statements from today and say, well, she lied yesterday, but now that we get the crime scene stuff. Well, I'm not saying that you are. I'm just saying that's what some people could perceive that. And they could say, well, now that you got all the crime scene stuff done, and now that you got the autopsy results done, and you know the truth, then she decided to be truthful. So just help me understand that.
Like I said, my mind has just been racing a million times, and
let me revisit the first thing I need to understand one more time. We're just about that. So if you're afraid of him, okay, and I'm not saying that you're not. I mean, I believe it. I mean, he's watched your guys. He's a man. You're a big victim. If you're afraid of him, if you made it to here, why didn't
he let me go? He would not have let me go. No, I've tried to him before, and this is what happened. He would not have let me go, so I just wanted to make sure he wasn't following me.
But what I'm saying, like right here is, right there's the front door.
Yeah.
So if you've already got a head start on him, so why didn't we just?
Because I just wanted to make.
If you're afraid, why didn't we just run the hell out the front door?
I know, but it wasn't my first instinct. I just wanted to make sure he wasn't gonna grab me by my hair, my throat. That's it. Just wanted to make sure, and he just came at me. I wouldn't have even got far. I'm telling you, like, I know I wouldn't have got far even if I would have run out the door. He would have came and got me. I already know. I just didn't want him to grab me by my hair or my throat or anything, and then I was selfless.
And sometimes my job is trying to ask easy questions, and sometimes my job is to ask hard questions, and that's why I do it. Not that I'm trying to dissuade, not that I'm trying to do anything else, okay? So this is a question I have to ask. Okay. And like I say, sometimes we just have to ask a hard question. And I'm not saying that I believe in anymore. I'm just saying we just have to sometimes ask a hard question, okay? Because this is going to be a question that the Commonwealth's going to want to know. This is going to be a question that him and David's family going to want to know. And, and whether they understand and accept things, I don't know. Me and you both, we can't control that. You know what I'm saying? I can only try to find the facts. I mean, in your heart of heart what the truth is. And so, this is where we're going to come here, but this is why I have to ask the hard question, okay? So the hard question is going to be this. Was you going in there to try to get back at him or to take a fight to him? Because you get the knife from here and you go back towards the door with the knife. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying what somebody can perceive.
I know,
but
no.
That you went in there to do it.
No, I just wanted to make sure he wasn't going to hurt me anymore, but I was never, ever trying to hurt him. I've never, even when we fought before, I've never put my hands on him. I've never even hit him back, ever, except for this one time when I kicked him in his chest.
So at the end of the day, my hard question is this. When you got the knife, did you go back into the room and be like, motherfucker, I'm tired of this, boom?
No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't even, no. I just wanted to make sure, and by the time that even happened, he was already at me. He was already at me, so
then what? Help me understand why we went back.
Because I just wanted to make sure he wasn't going to come after me anymore. That's it. I just wanted to make sure he wasn't going to grab me. I should have left. I know I should have left, but he would have got free and grabbed me by my hair. If I can have it back right now, I would. It really was a big part of my life. Like, it's been 3.5 years on and off with him.
Based on the new evidence, a grand jury indicted Kaylee Whitehall for reckless homicide. In September 2016, a year after Kuston's death, the case went to trial.
The case before us today is Commonwealth of Kentucky versus Kaylee Whitehall, 15 CR 00924.
The prosecution was led by Kim Gohagan. Kaylee's defense attorney was Denny Harden.
Is the Commonwealth prepared to proceed?
Commonwealth is ready, Your Honor.
Is the defense ready to proceed?
Your Honor, Ms. Whitehall's ready.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a criminal case. The indictment reads as follows. Count 1, that on or about the 10th day of September 2015, in Warren County, Kentucky, the above named defendant committed the crime of reckless homicide, when with recklessness she caused the death of Kuston Johnson, Bowling Green, Kentucky, to which the defendant pleads.
Your Honor, Ms. Whitehall pleads not guilty.
Both sides presented their version of what happened on the night of September 9th, 2015.
Ms. Gohagan, representing the Commonwealth, will now open her case.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I please support Mr. Harden? Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the proof in this case will show that on September the 10th, 2015, here in Warren County, Kuston Johnson was killed. He was killed at his residence. Brittany Jones and Dennis Melbourne went to Kuston's house on September the 10th. They were going to hang out with Kuston and Kaylee. Dennis and Brittany arrived around 8:30. Everybody there was drinking. There was alcohol at this residence and everybody was drinking. Initially, things were fine, but at some point things changed. Dennis and Brittany overheard an argument, a verbal argument, between Kaylee and Kuston. They're in another area of the house. They come out and they're like, what's going on? And they hear them yelling at each other, and they're like, you all just need to separate. You all separate. Brittany and Kaylee go down to the garage, and you're going to hear statements where people say they're in the downstairs. It's a one-story residence, but they refer to the garage as the downstairs because there's a step down when you go into the garage from the house. They're in the garage, and Brittany says that Kaylee is venting to her about Kuston, that she's upset with Kuston because the Monday prior to this happened on a Thursday. The Monday prior, Kuston stayed out until 4 a.m. and she was mad and she thought something was going on. At that point, Kuston walks up to the garage. Kaylee's going to walk out of the garage and he pushes her back in the garage. And he says, you want to talk about me? Tell him what you've been doing. They get into an argument. They're yelling at each other. And Kuston puts Kaylee in a headlock. Brittany's going to tell you that while she's in the headlock, Kaylee continues to yell at Kuston and continues to talk to him. They're cussing back and forth and yelling at each other. They're broken up by Brittany and Dennis. She's going to tell you that after they break them up, Kuston walks out of the room. He leaves and goes into the house. And that Kaylee walks over and pushes the cups off the bar. There's a bar in the garage. You'll see a bunch of cups on the floor. The next thing that happens in the kitchen is Kaylee picks up items off a counter. There's a living room and a kitchen, and there's a cutout between those rooms. So if you're in the kitchen, you can see into the living room. Kuston was in the kitchen side, and Kaylee's on the living room side. And Kaylee starts throwing glass objects at Kuston. Kuston throws something back at her too. Kuston gets cut on the face. You're going to see a large cut on his face. His face starts bleeding. Brittany's going to tell you at this point that she sees Kaylee go around into the kitchen and get a large knife. Kaylee gets the large knife, and Kuston takes the knife away from her and gets her down on the floor and is standing over her. Brittany says Dennis then takes the knife from Kuston and puts it somewhere out of the way. At this point, again, the two are separated. Kuston leaves. He goes into his bedroom, which is right next to the kitchen, and he goes into the bathroom to look at his face, which is bleeding. He's checking on his face. While that's going on, Brittany's going to tell you that she's talking to Kaylee, and she's saying, Kaylee, come on, just go home with me. This is stupid. This is a dumb fight. Let's just leave. Brittany says, Kaylee goes, no, I'm not leaving my TV here. I want my TV. He'll break it. If I leave my TV here, he'll break it. So they go into the bedroom, into Kuston and Kaylee's bedroom, to unhook the TV. Initially, again, they say that Kuston offers to help unhook the TV. He goes into the garage and gets some wire cutters. And he comes back and he's trying to unhook the TV, and they are again yelling at each other, back and forth, both of them screaming at each other. And at some point he says, you're not taking the TV. You're not getting the TV. At that point, again, they're screaming and yelling at each other. Brittany will tell you at this point, she's in front of Kaylee, and she's trying to push Kaylee out of the bedroom into another room. Kuston walks around and smacks Kaylee in the face. Brittany gets Kaylee out of the bedroom, and Brittany says that she's pushing her and pulling on her arms to get her out, that Kaylee's resisting her, and she's trying to get her out of the room. Once she pushes her out of the room, Brittany says Kaylee breaks away from her and runs back around back to the bedroom. Brittany says she was tired from trying to get her out of the room, and she's like, she kind of hesitates for a minute, stops. So she doesn't see when Kaylee runs back into the bedroom. Dennis is in the bedroom. Dennis says he sees a knife in Kaylee's hand. Kaylee and Kuston make contact. Kuston is stabbed 1 time in the chest, resulting in a hole in his heart. At this point, Brittany comes back in the room. She sees Kaylee with the knife. Dennis pushes Kuston into the bathroom and closes the door. And Brittany says at this point, Kaylee picks up an iron. There's an ironing board in the bedroom. She picks up an iron and throws the iron at the bathroom door. And you can see the damage on the bathroom door, where the door is damaged from the iron. At this point, Brittany says, very shortly after that, seconds, less than a minute, they hear a loud thump. And Dennis says, something's wrong with Kuston. We need to call 911, something's wrong with Kuston. And at that point, they say that Kaylee says, I'm going to jail. I need to get some bond money. I'm going to go call my friend Ryan. And Brittany, I'm going to give you my phone so you can have his number so you can call him and he can get my bond money. And Dennis says, you stabbed him in the neck. And she said, I didn't stab him in the neck. And Kaylee says, I didn't stab him that hard. He's just faking it. He always says this when I try to leave. He's just faking it. He knew I was going to leave him today. I was planning to leave him. And he's just doing this so I won't leave. So she doesn't realize at this point how serious it is. Brittany says they go in. Dennis calls 911. Brittany is trying to give CPR, and she does give CPR for a period of time. And at some point, Kaylee comes back into the room and realizes that he's not faking it, that this is really serious. And you can hear her on the 911 call. She starts screaming. You're going to hear Kaylee's account of what happened. She tells the police that she was in a relationship with Kuston for a long time. She's going to tell you that he was violent towards her, that they fought all the time, that it was normal for them to do this, that's just the way they were. They would fight and throw things at each other and yell, that this was nothing uncommon. She says that she was planning to leave him that night, that she had a friend wire her some money that day, and she was going to move out. She initially tells the police that when Kuston is stabbed, that they're in the kitchen, and that she goes like this. She goes like that. And that's how he ended up getting stabbed. She says that at the time she stabbed him, that she was being choked by Kuston, and to get him off of her, she goes like this with the knife, and she swipes. Her final statement that she gave to Detective Hughes, after he discussed to her the medical findings and the proof at the scene, she gave a different statement and indicated that it didn't occur in the kitchen, that it actually occurred when she was running back into the bedroom, and that as she's running back into the bedroom, she picks up a knife off the counter, and that she's holding the knife, and she flinches, and that's how Kuston Johnson is stabbed. And that's her final statement to the police. But at the end of this case, after the Commonwealth has presented our case to you, and you've heard from all the witnesses, we believe that you'll be compelled to find her guilty of reckless homicide. Thank you.
So here's basically what happened. As Ms. Gohagan said, Kaylee and Kuston, they were in a pretty long-term relationship, 3.5 years. It was a volatile relationship. It was certainly one that had elements of violence and yelling and screaming and cursing. Kaylee had made the decision that she had had enough of the abuse that had been occurring. And she had contacted a friend, actually an old boyfriend from California, his name's Ryan, and some money was wired to her so that she could get out of that situation and get on with her life. There's some messages on her phone communicating with Ryan about the money. She goes to the bathroom without her phone. She comes out and she notices that Kuston's demeanor has dramatically changed. Kuston, who at the time of his death was 6 feet, 3 inches tall, and weighed about 218 pounds. Kaylee, I'm not sure what her stats are, but she's quite a bit smaller than that. You're going to hear testimony that she was in a headlock or being choked. The fight that escalated in the downstairs actually went into the house where, again, there was some objects thrown by both of them. She was again choked and put into a headlock. You're also going to hear testimony, and this is one of those points that is has a little discrepancy in it. It is true that Kaylee did say the day after this happened that while standing in the kitchen, Kuston's behind her choking her, and she made this reflexive move, and that's where she believed that he got stabbed. You're going to hear from Detective Hughes, who, with the Bowling Green Police Department, several officers involved. They did a very detailed investigation on this, did, as I said, multiple interviews with multiple people, that Kaylee was not arrested on that night. But at the end of the case, I think you are going to see that the conclusion that the investigating officer made is that the aggressor in this case was Kuston Johnson, and that Kaylee was in fear of her life when she was trying to defend herself. And for that reason, I'm going to ask you to find her not guilty.
Detective Wade Hughes took the stand.
So the final interview, the story changes.
That's correct.
And how does it change?
The location, at this point in time going into this interview, I've been able to go over with the crime scene people, with the medical examiner, kind of been able to start to paint the whole picture. And I knew there were certain parts of the story that were not true. And so one of those was the stabbing did not occur in the kitchen area.
And that's finally confirmed by Kaylee.
That's correct.
And you also confirmed in this interview that she did not stab him by a rear motion. Is that correct?
That's correct. With him being behind her, the stab was on the left portion of his chest. And if he were behind her and she stabbed like this, there's no way that the wound would be on the left side. So I knew that was not accurate also.
And towards the end of this interview, she tells you that she held the knife in a different position than what she originally told you.
That's correct. She held it with the blade down from her hand like that.
And she did demonstrate that for you when you were talking to her.
That's correct.
Okay. And finally, at the end, there's clarification on the door, the damage to the door.
Yeah, to the bathroom door, yes, ma'am.
All right, and what was her statement about that?
I believe she finally states that she did throw the iron and it caused the damage in the door.
And did you arrest Kaylee Whitehall?
I did not.
And why did you not do that?
As with any death investigation, not necessarily natural death investigation, but death investigations like this, we always go as slow as we can to gather all the facts, and as we're learning facts, that may uncover another fact, and we're always comparing it with the crime scene, because the crime scene, it is what it is. It does not change. So when we're gathering statements may change, and we have to compare those with the crime scene. And with all investigations, we notify the Commonwealth Attorney's Office, and this particular call, Mr. Chris Colron came out. So we were updating him constantly on the information that we was learning. So we, in no case whatsoever, do we want to rush to judgment. And so once we felt like we had all the facts, or as many facts as we possibly could gathered, we met with the prosecutor, Mr. Chris Colron, and he made the decision to present this case to the Warren County Grand Jury.
Then came the most haunting discovery. Kaylee's social media posts, uncovered by Kuston's family and given to Detective Hughes.
On the 12th, Mr. Johnson's family called and notified me of a post on social media.
If you wake up and your girl's staring at you with your phone in her hand, just go back to sleep, bruh. You're probably about to die anyway.
The following day after that, on the 13th, Mr. Harden contacted me and stated he was representing Miss Whitehall and for any communication to be through him. And so at that time, I informed him about the social media post that I would like to ask her about that.
Go back to sleep, baby. I'm planning your funeral.
And he agreed to do that at his office.
Kaylee said they were jokes. Jokes or red flags. What was Kaylee really thinking when she wrote them? No one knows her true state of mind that night but her. But to Kuston's family, those posts were chilling. The prosecutor asked the detective about his demeanor toward Kaylee during her interviews and why he was so nice to her. He explained.
In our training, and in talking with anybody in general, just personal skills, if I come at somebody and I'm accusatory, beating the table, calling them a liar, they're not going to communicate with me whatsoever. I have to make them feel comfortable in speaking with me unless the conversation is over with. So that's just kind of a tactic that we use. We just try to be a person with them. We don't try to attack anyone. It's not like it is on TV.
This was a volatile, rocky relationship.
That's correct.
You were aware, based on talking to Kaylee, that there were other instances of domestic violence, correct?
That's correct.
And nobody really disputes that, right?
According to the statements between them two, yes.
Sure.
Correct.
Is it fair to say that you, as the lead investigator, you really didn't find that anybody was lying to you? You just found instead that maybe different facts were coming in at different times?
That's really not for me to determine if they're lying or not.
Well, I mean, but you obviously are a police officer, and people do lie to you all the time, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, in this particular case, was deception on really any witness something that you were worried about or concerned about?
I felt with Brittany, her story was, or her statements were consistent.
Sure.
Pretty much the entire investigation. Madden's was his differences due to intoxication, or was he lying? I don't know. I can't determine that. Miss Whitehall's statement was her initial statement, and her last statement due from lying or due from remembrance. That's not up to me to decide.
That's a fair response. Based on everything that you've looked at, this is not an instance where we have some kind of disputed fact where Kaylee, she just got, pardon my language, she just got pissed off. She said, I'm going to get this guy, got the knife. May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
And just went over to him and said, you're going to quit this, and just stabbed him. We have nothing like that at all, do we?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that.
You're not sure? Well, let me ask you this. If you're not sure, what fact would you be relying upon that would suggest that maybe it did happen like that?
Based upon the scene, this was a fluid situation. If we're looking at the final altercation, as she pulls away from Brittany at the door, I could kind of point it out on the picture if you like.
Right.
But as she pulls away from Brittany at the living room kitchen door, then she has to go through the kitchen to go to the bedroom. And that path is when she grabs a knife. Now, if we back up to where she pulls away from Brittany, there's a back door within feet. So if you pass the back door where you could have left if you're in fear, and you grab a knife and you go back to him, I can't clearly say that she didn't go there with the intent to cause harm. Now, did she go there with the intent to kill him? If you're asking my opinion, that is no, based upon all the statements. However, it is not for me to determine that. The problem is with this scene is she was feet from the door, and she went past Brittany, past the door of escape, grabbed a knife, and back to the bedroom.
But just so that we're clear, though, and this is why I asked you earlier, the relative distance between where she would have obtained that knife to where the actual stabbing occurred, it's not that far of a distance, right?
Well, when the final altercation happened, and when Brittany was pulling her out, she was standing beside of the back door. The back door is right there beside of where Brittany said she
Right.
used the wall to pull away. That's the back door.
Right.
So the back door was there. There was her way of escape if she was in fear.
You don't have any evidence that Kuston had calmed down at that point. He was saying, all right, let's just get Kaylee's TV. And Kaylee got the knife, came in there mad as, you know what, with the knife, and came up to him. We have no evidence that that happened, right?
I guess if you're asking, I cannot determine was Kuston running towards her. I cannot tell you that for certain. I cannot tell you was he walking towards her. I cannot tell you was he standing in the doorway. I cannot for certain 100% tell you that. What I can tell you 100% for certain is when she pulled away from Brittany, she was standing beside of the back door. And if she was in fear, she'd pass the back door, went and through the kitchen, grabbed the knife, and went towards where Kuston was.
Are you suggesting that Kaylee Whitehall had an absolute duty under the law to leave that residence at that point? Is that what you're suggesting?
No, that's not for me to determine. I'm just saying, you're asking me what the scene
Right.
and what I believe the facts say.
Sure.
I believe the facts, along with the statements, say that if she was in fear, as much as she said she was much closer to her route of escape than she was to break free from Brittany, go through the kitchen, grab a knife, and go to Kuston. But that's not for me to determine if she has to retreat.
Sure. She told you, did she not, that she didn't know what Kuston was going to do. She didn't know she was coming for him. She didn't want her hair to be grabbed again. Do you remember her saying that?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
If in fact Kaylee was being choked and hair pulled and punched in the face and hit and all these other things that happened in this flurry, all right, and if in fact Kuston broke free from Mr. Melbourne and charged at her while Kaylee had a knife in her hand, okay, based on the evidence that we've collected, if all that happened, at that point, can you say, as a police officer, that that was unjustified?
I can't say that he was charging her. I cannot say that for fact. If you're asking me, did I think that she intentionally killed Kuston Johnson?
Right.
The answer is no.
You don't believe it?
If you're asking me, do I believe recklessly she passed her area of escape, went around Brittany, grabbed a knife, and went at Kuston, do I believe she recklessly killed him? Yes. That's why we're here. I don't believe she intentionally killed him.
You testified before the grand jury in this case. You were rather candid in your testimony toward the end. And in fact, you told the grand jury that you believe, based on the evidence, that Kuston Johnson was the aggressor and Kaylee Whitehall was defending herself. Do you remember saying that?
Depending on which part of the altercation, yes, I said that.
Kaylee Whitehall was not arrested until the grand jury indictment came out. Do you agree with that?
Yes, that's correct.
Nobody petitioned any court to get an arrest warrant for her, correct?
That's correct.
Nobody arrested her, right? The grand jury indicted her, correct?
Objection, Your Honor. Asked and answered.
I agree. Nothing further.
The jurors heard testimony after testimony, witnesses, detectives, and experts all recounting that night. Dr. Wasson testified that despite their efforts, Kuston Johnson was pronounced dead at 1:41 a.m.
All of our attempts were unsuccessful. He was pronounced dead at 1:41 a.m. That morning.
Based on your examination, were you able to determine the cause of death?
Yes,
And what was that?
a stab wound of the chest.
So once they were pulled apart, what happened?
I think she just, Kaylee, the law student, just started throwing like empty alcohol bottles, shot glasses, vases at him. I'm over here trying to shield him and pull him back towards the room.
You indicated earlier there was some sort of taunting going on.
Yes.
I think they've indicated it was hard to hear that. What did you say about the taunting?
She was pretty much standing over him talking about that's what you get.
So you saw, as she exited that room, Kuston lean around Brittany and punch her. You saw that, right?
I didn't see that part.
You didn't see that part? Did you hear that part?
I didn't hear that part either.
Didn't hear that part? Do you believe that happened?
I mean, who's to say? I didn't see it.
You have a hard time grasping that Kuston Johnson hit Kaylee, don't you?
I didn't see it.
Well, that's not my question, sir. You have a hard time comprehending that Kuston did, in fact, hit Kaylee on more than one occasion. Isn't that true?
Yeah, I never seen this. So
You never saw that?
I can't comprehend. The
So-
headlock, yeah, I can definitely. I saw that, but I didn't see him like strike her.
Sure. Did Kaylee have any reason to be fearful of Kuston Johnson that night? According to you?
That night?
That night. What she saw that night, did she have a reason to be afraid?
I mean, I can't speak for Kaylee, but if you're asking me, I mean, probably so. But at the end of the day, he wasn't like, when they started arguing, it wasn't violent.
Okay, let me stop you there.
Okay.
You answered my question. If I heard you correctly, it's probably so.
Yeah.
All right, your words, not mine. Is it at all possible that because of your extreme alcohol intoxication that night, you just may not recollect and recall all the facts that you observed? Is it possible?
Yeah, it's possible, but I only could tell you what I can remember.
Inside the garage, when they're arguing, and you indicated that she's in the headlock, is she yelling or is she talking? What is she doing at that point?
She was just talking.
Okay. So when she gets out of the headlock, is that when she starts yelling?
Yeah.
And is he yelling?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, at this point, who would you say was the aggressive one in the garage?
In the garage, like when he had her in the maybe him, because he had her in the headlock at the time.
Okay. What did you see next?
I mean, she was just throwing stuff, and he started throwing stuff back. Like she was picking up candles and like whatever pretty much was in her sight to throw it.
Okay, and then he threw something back at her.
Yeah.
Do you know what he threw back at her?
No, I don't.
And did you, at this point, who would you say was the more aggressive person?
Kaylee.
Okay. And did you see if Kaylee got hurt? Was she bleeding?
No, she wasn't bleeding.
Did you see if Kuston got hurt?
Yes.
And how did he get hurt?
He had a cut across his face.
And again, throughout the evening, you offered to Kaylee to come home with you and to leave.
Yes.
And she didn't want to.
No.
At any point was Kuston saying, you can't leave?
No, he told her to get out.
He was telling her to get out.
Yeah.
At any point, did you ever see Kuston choking her?
Just in the garage. I didn't see him choke. He had her in the headlock. She was talking, so she wasn't choking.
Is that the only headlock that you observed?
Yes.
You never saw her choking, gasping for breath?
No.
Now, Kaylee lived there with him, right?
Yes.
She had property there?
Yes.
And of course, you don't live with him 24/7, right?
No, I don't.
You have no idea what happens when you all are not there.
Nope.
Okay. And she had told you in the garage that she was tired of all this, didn't she?
Yeah.
She said she's tired of the way he is, tired of him hitting her, and she's getting out.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
She had made plans to get out, and she told you that.
Yep. She said she was moving to an apartment on Friday.
On Friday. And this was, at this point, this is Wednesday night, Thursday morning, right?
Yeah.
So she's a day or two away from moving out.
Mm-hmm. When we were having our conversation alone, no, she didn't say she was tired of him hitting her. She said she was tired of him.
Finally, it was Kaylee's turn.
At this time, Denny, have you and your client talked about whether or not she will be taking the stand in her defense?
We have, Your Honor, and I've advised her that the court may want to engage her in a colloquy. It's my understanding that Ms. Whitehall is going to elect not to testify, and the defense is going to simultaneously rest with the Commonwealth.
All right. Ms. Whitehall, if you will approach the lectern, please. Ms. Whitehall, one of the hardest things for a defense lawyer and a client to have is a discussion as to whether or not that client will take the stand. It is not an easy decision. It is one taken with probably the greatest sense of responsibility on behalf of the attorney. There are a lot of theories that go back and forth, and over my 35 years, I think I've heard them all. But at the end of the day, it's a personal one between yourself and Mr. Harden. And I'm going to ask you, have you had a conversation with Mr. Harden about testifying in this case?
Yes, Your Honor, I have.
Do you believe you had a full and thorough vetting or conversation about the positive and negative aspects of testifying in this case?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
At the end of the day, it is ultimately your decision as to whether or not. to testify. So I want to ask you, do you wish to testify in your own defense in this case?
No, Your Honor, I don't.
You do not. All right. The court will accept that. Denny, I also want to ask you, do you agree that you've had a full, thorough conversation with Ms. Whitehall on this matter?
Your Honor, we have had multiple conversations about this very issue, and I believe that she's making a competent, well-informed decision.
All right, very good. Then the court will accept that decision by the defendant. Ms. Whitehall, you may sit down.
Thank you.
Mr. Harden, you may close your case.
Please, the court.
Mr. Harden.
Skohagen. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's a sad case all the way around. Anytime you have two people in a relationship and something like this happens, where there's a death and another person charged, it's just bad all the way around. So in this fluid situation, again, going with the Commonwealth's theory, if that's what happened, if there was a cool down and then she went to got the knife, well then, maybe this would be an intentional killing. But Wade Hughes says, I don't believe it was. I don't believe it was intentional. I believe it was reckless because what did he say? What did Detective Hughes say? Well, she had gotten away, she pulled away, she could have left. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not the law in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. A person does not have a duty to retreat prior to the use of deadly force. She told Brittany in the garage area, I'm tired of this. This is just what happens. We fight all the time. I want out. How much more does this woman have to take? He was the aggressor. Now you heard some testimony. I think Mr. Melbourne said that Kaylee was the aggressor in the other parts. Well, let's think about that for a minute. Let's assume that's true. Well, she had just been choked on the ground, had fallen or tripped and kicked Kuston and knocked stuff over. They were in a fight. She was upset. They were all upset. Here's the most troubling point of this whole case. Domestic violence, it's a reality. It happens all the time, all over the place, every walk of life. Think about this. Think about this one point. What happened that night, the choking, the punching, that wasn't private behind closed doors, just Kaylee and Kuston. That was in front of two people, one of whom, Brittany, they didn't even really know that well. Brittany was kind of a new friend. That's what she said. Now, Melbourne and Kuston have been friends a long time, but so they have people over to their house, and Kuston is doing this in front of people. We can only wonder what happens when no one else is there. But we don't have to wonder because Kaylee told us. The only way that you can convict Kaylee now, the only way, is you have to believe beyond a reasonable doubt that she was not justified in doing this. You would have to believe that her life was not in danger, she hadn't been injured, she hadn't been hurt, she was overreacting, and she was mad at him and went after him with that knife. There's no evidence to suggest that.
The defense asked the jury to see it as a moment of fear, not fury.
Folks, Kaylee, as awful a case as it is, she had no other choice. She was fearful of her life. And the law says that she had the right to do what she did. It's regretful. It is. It's sad. But on that night, at that time, on that date, in those circumstances, she did what she had to do to escape more injury and possibly even her own death. Folks, I'm going to ask you to listen to this case, go back and deliberate, and find Ms. Whitehall not guilty of this offense.
But I'm going to start with the very beginning. In the very beginning of this case, Kaylee Whitehall says, I was trying to leave. I just wanted to get out there. My friend sent me the money that day, and I just wanted to leave. But what does she do? She comes home from work. She goes to the liquor store with Kuston. They get some liquor. She hangs out at their house for several hours, drinking and hanging around. Why does she do that? If she's so ready to get away from Kuston, why does she come home from work and voluntarily go with him to the liquor store and start hanging out and drinking with Kuston, Brittany, and Dennis. If you're ready to get out of Dodge, you leave. You get out of Dodge. You don't go home and hang around and party that night. So they're all there. Everybody's hanging out. And everybody said it started off as a minor disagreement. It was minor, and then it turned into a major argument. Started off as a verbal yelling match. Kaylee herself said she was calling Kuston all kinds of names. You probably recall them. I'm not going to repeat them. Lots of things that are not something anybody wants to be called. I never heard anybody saying Kuston was calling her similar types of names. I heard people saying Kuston was telling her to get out. From the very beginning that this happened, very first contact that the police made with Kaylee, shortly thereafter this happened, the first thing she says is, he was behind me. He was choking me. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe. I just wanted to get away. I couldn't breathe. If you've just stabbed someone, you're going to remember if you stab them like this or if you just go like that. That's going to be fresh on your mind. You're not going to be confused about that. So why does she immediately, automatically, first time she talks to the police, say, I just went like this? I couldn't breathe, so I just went like this. Again, in the crime scene walkthrough, she's already talked to Officer Bowman. She's already talked to Detective Hughes. Now they take her to the scene and say, let's reenact this. And again, she says that I went like this. He was behind me. I couldn't breathe. Let's talk about that. Nobody, other than Kaylee, says he ever had her in a headlock in the kitchen. The only time any witnesses, other than Kaylee, say she was in a headlock was in the garage. And both witnesses said she's screaming and yelling the whole time. She is not gasping for breath. She is not choking. He was not choking her. Another thing, and I wanted you all to see those pictures today of her, and I wanted you to be able to see them really well, because sometimes there's a glare on the screen and you can't see those very well. The reason I wanted you to look at those really closely is I really want you to study her neck. To look at it. There's not a mark on her neck. There's not a bruise on her neck. If somebody's choking you that hard and you can't breathe, there's going to be some sort of indication of that on day 2 or day 5, that that's what's happened. She talks about, how violent this was and how rough Kuston was with her. And Denny at one point says that the one time he hit her that evening, that it was like that. Can you imagine a man hitting a woman like that? Again, look at her face. If somebody hit you that hard, there's going to be a big bruise on your face. It's not there. So let's slow this down. Let's talk about this altercation, when it started. Everybody agrees in the garage was the first time this changed. There was a verbal argument. Brittany and Kaylee were in the garage. Kaylee's bad-mouthing Kuston, saying, what was he doing? What's he doing out? Dennis is down there. Kuston comes in, and Kuston pushes her into the room. Everybody agrees with that. Pushes her into the room, and they're yelling at each other, and he puts her in a headlock. And she continues to yell the entire time. They get out of the room, and the way they exit the room to me is very interesting, because everybody that testified said that Kuston left the room first. Brittany leaves the room, and she walks out to that living room kitchen area where there's that cutout. Kaylee's already throwing things at Kuston. And Brittany did not see Kaylee in the floor of the garage. What Brittany says about her being in the floor is that Kaylee goes around from a drawer and she gets this big knife out of the drawer. And Kaylee has this knife, and Kuston takes this knife away from her. And when he takes it away, Kaylee's down on the ground. And she says, I think she tripped on the rug that was right there in the foyer, and that's how she got down. She says Kuston is standing over her, takes the knife away, Dennis takes the knife, and then this particular knife ends up over there under that DJ stand. At that point, Kaylee is escalating the situation. She's arming herself with a knife. She gets the knife. Brittany told you all that at that point, she says, Kaylee, come on, let's just go. Like, let's just get out of here. You don't need to stay. But Kaylee says, no, I want to get my TV.
The prosecutor turned to the jury and asked,
Now, if I'm in fear for my life, is my first thought going to be, I better go get my TV? If I'm fearing for my life, if I think somebody's going to kill me or cause me serious physical injury, is my first thought going to be, I need a TV? I don't think so. I don't think any reasonable person would believe that. Brittany tells you she is backing Kaylee out of the room. And you can see the difference in size between Brittany and Kaylee. There's a difference. Brittany says Kaylee is fighting her the whole time, trying to get around her to get back to Kuston. Brittany tells you when they get to the corner, that's when Kuston hits her. And Kaylee, she says, is trying to break away at that point and get around her to get to Kuston. She's trying to get to him. Obviously, this was a tumultuous relationship between these two. It was not one-sided.
The prosecutor reminded the jury that at this point, it's not Kuston running out of the bedroom. It's Kaylee pulling away from Brittany, grabbing another knife, and charging toward him.
As she's pulling away from Brittany, she uses her arm as leverage. She jerks away. She goes around Brittany. She goes to the kitchen. She gets another knife, she says, from the dispensary. And she runs to Kuston. Again, if I'm in fear of my life, am I going to run at a person that I'm afraid of? Does a normal person do that? Do you run to somebody that's attacking you? No. And she doesn't have a duty to retreat her house. No, she doesn't have a duty to leave her house. But would a normal person run to an attacker? Would you do that? No, you wouldn't do that. Why is that important? It's important because it goes to show how mad Kaylee was at Kuston. She's mad, she breaks away from Brittany, she runs, she gets the knife, she charges in there where Kuston is, she stabs him. He realizes he's been stabbed. Dennis is pushing him in the bathroom, and she's still mad. So what does she do? She picks up the iron off the iron board and she throws it at that door. You saw the damage to that door. That's not a light tossing that iron at the door. I mean, she hurled that iron at that door. And then when she was asked about that, she didn't tell the truth about it until the very end.
How did this get in your door?
This has been here. This was from tonight. This is another dispute.
First, she said, well, Kaylee was knocking, Brittany was knocking on the door. It must have happened there. Or maybe it happened when somebody slammed the door.
This is when Brittany was like, open the door, Madden, because Madden's going at it. And she was like, we're solving this tonight, open the door. And then that's when we're going back and forth. But this is from another fight we had.
She knew that was going to look bad. So she would not acknowledge that she threw that iron at that door and damaged that door. And Dennis is saying, something's wrong, you know, we need to get somebody in here, we need some help. And Kaylee's saying, that's what you get, I told you. And then she says, I didn't stab him that hard. And what does she do? She goes and gets her phone. Does she call 911? No. She calls Ryan. And you can see this phone log. Detective Buss brought the phone log. A green call means that's the person that's placing the call. You can look at the legend. And the time of the call is 0044. And then it has 49 at the end. That's 0044. EMS is called in 0045. So while Kuston is laying on that bathroom floor, gasping for his last breath, she is calling Ryan. And she's calling him because she told Brittany, I need to get my bond money together. I'm going to call my friend Ryan so he can bond me out. I know I'm going to jail. Then she comes back in the bathroom and she realizes a little bit later, oh no, this is serious. That's when she starts panicking. And you can hear this 911 call was consistent too with Brittany and Dennis's testimony. They tell you that she's gone for a while and they call 911 and Brittany starts the CPR. Several that take place for quite a while before you can hear Kaylee come in and start getting hysterical. You can listen to that again. She's not in that bathroom originally. She's not there. That's what you get. I told you, that's what you get. Now, does anybody believe a man can't be a victim of domestic violence? Because the person that got hurt here was Kuston. Kuston's face was cut. He was stabbed. Right from the very beginning, when the first police officer gets there, she tells them a version of the events that absolutely could not have happened. It does not fit the evidence at all. She started from the very minute she opened her mouth to talk to the police. And don't forget, her initial statement to Destin Bowman, she said, "I just snapped. I don't know what happened. I just snapped." I just snapped. I feel like we spent a lot of time in this case talking about everybody but Kuston. He was a 36-year-old man that worked hard, ended up in a bad relationship he was trying to get out of, and he's lost his life. And let's not forget that. Thank you.
After 3 days of testimony, the jury reached its verdict.
The jury has returned into open court. Unanimous verdict form. Under C, we, the jury, find the defendant Kaylee Whitehall guilty of reckless homicide.
The judge explained the penalty phase.
It's a Class D felony, 1 to 5 in the state penitentiary. We have, I think by agreement, decided that we'll announce that the parole eligibility is at 15%. That's by regulation. That's not discretionary on the court or the parties. So everyone knows what that means. Eligibility means that's when you get to meet the parole.
During the penalty phase, Kuston's sister, Kuston Sweat Johnson, spoke through tears about the brother she lost and the son he left behind.
This has probably been one of the roughest years that I've ever experienced. And, you know, our family's experienced death before. But my mom and I, we lost my dad on Mother's Day of 2015, and exactly 4 months to the day Kuston was killed. So not only do you experience death one time, but you experience death twice, not even 6 months. So, that was pretty hard. It was just Kuston and I, you know, only siblings that each other had, and you go from 4 family members to 2 in a blink of an eye. So the impact has been pretty rough, and not just for me, for my mom. I pray daily for her strength, because I can't even imagine losing a child. I have 2 kids of my own and would not wish that on my worst enemy. But the biggest impact probably is felt by Kuston's 16-year-old son, who does not get to experience, he never got to experience his first driving of a car with his dad. He's supposed to take his driver's test in 2 days. He doesn't get to tell his dad he passed. His dad doesn't get to see him make all-state tennis. His dad will never see him graduate from high school or go to his first prom. And it's been really hard because Kyle lives in another state. But those opportunities were there, and they were taken from him without any regard to him or his family. I feel like the punishment for this should be the maximum, because it will never match the maximum that was taken from us.
The judge sentenced Kaylee Whitehall to 4 years in prison.
We, the jury, fixed the defendant's sentence of reckless homicide and confinement to state penitentiary for a term of 4 years. Is that the unanimous verdict of the jury, ma'am?
Yes.
Ms. Whitehall, consistent with my statement, I'm going to exonerate the bond. Now be placed in custody. I'll have the probation and parole do a pre-sentence report. I'll tentatively set this for November the 7th at 1 o'clock, if they can get it done, November the 7th at 1 o'clock. Anything else from the Commonwealth?
No, sir, thank you.
Anything from the defendant?
No, Your Honor.
We'll be in recess. Thank you.
she was required to serve 15% before becoming eligible for parole. A little over 7 months. She became eligible in April 2017 and was released on February 21st, 2018. Kuston's family and friends believed the sentence didn't fit the crime. They said if the roles were reversed, Kuston would have been locked up before the trial even began, and they would have thrown away the key. In the end, both sides lost someone that night. One to a lifetime of guilt, the other forever.
This is Subscribe Crime.